Night shifts have a strange nature. Even when the city seems to fall asleep, it is never completely silent. When the noise fades, what remains is not total silence. Only softer sounds. The sound of a distant car becomes far more distinct. The wind drags a plastic bag across an empty parking lot, creating an echo. Streetlights flicker. You can hear the faint buzzing of fluorescent lamps. In moments like these, a person begins to hear their own thoughts more loudly. The closing shift begins precisely in this quiet. This is not a story of heroism. There is no gun on your back. You are not trapped in a dark corner. No monstrous creatures are chasing you. You are simply a barista working the night shift. Yet sometimes the most frightening anxieties hide within ordinary life. Chilla enters like a worker who is late for the night shift. When the door opens, the lights inside turn on and the small cafe slowly comes to life. The space is not large. It is simple, tidy, and functional. Cold white light illuminates every corner evenly. Everything feels safe and familiar. The machine begins to warm up. The counter is arranged. The register opens. Empty chairs wait in rows. Chilla is a student. She works the night shift to make a living. She is tired but accustomed to it. Alone, yet able to endure it. And before the game awakens your fear, it presents you with a routine. You take orders. You froth milk. You place cups. You close lids. You wipe the counter clean. You replace the trash bag. These are not merely tasks. They create a rhythm. The human mind finds comfort in repetitive motion. Repeating the same actions reduces the brain's capacity to perceive danger. You feel safe. And that is why repetition is crucial, because when something changes, you feel it immediately. Over time, the process of making coffee becomes hypnotic. Pour milk, start the machine, place the cup, close the lid. Repeat, repeat, repeat. The rise of steam, the swirling sound of milk, the soft contact of cups against the counter. This rhythm calms the mind. The player slips into autopilot. And when consciousness loosens, threat perception increases. When you look outside through the cafe's glass door, you see a different world. Yellow streetlights cast a trembling glow. An empty parking lot stretches outward. Vending machines stand alone in the dark. The wind gently sways a sign. Outside is quiet. Too quiet. You look at the door. It feels like something might happen. But nothing happens. And this absence increases the tension. The first customers begin to arrive. A student, a businessman, someone absorbed in their phone, a young person who takes their coffee and sits. Brief exchanges. Just enough words. No one meets your eyes. No one makes conversation. The silent alienation of modern city life seeps into the shop. This social distance makes you feel even more alone. And loneliness is the most fertile ground for fear. Then something strange happens. A customer lingers longer than necessary. They behave as if they know you. They ask questions. They make eye contact. They remain even though they should leave. There is no clear threat. But there is discomfort. Because in real life, fear rarely arrives screaming. It arrives by crossing boundaries, by violating normal behavior, by making you uneasy. This game triggers a familiar fear, unwanted attention. At first, the shop felt secure. Lights were on. Walls surrounded you. The door separated inside from outside. But as the night progresses, that sense of safety begins to dissolve. Everyone who enters becomes an uncertainty. The darkness outside is no longer just empty space. And for the first time, a thought appears. Am I really alone here? The game's sound design is nearly invisible, yet remarkably powerful. There is no dramatic background music. Instead, there are sounds from the real world. The buzz of fluorescent lights, the echo of the ice machine, the sound of the door opening, a distant passing car. These sounds are not exaggerated. They are familiar, and the brain interprets familiar sounds as signals of reality, which heightens tension. After a while, you must step outside to take out the trash, to retrieve supplies, to go to your car. The moment you open the door and step out, the atmosphere changes completely. Cold air, a silent parking lot, empty cars. Your footsteps echo on the ground, and suddenly that feeling, someone might be watching you. You turn around. No one is there. You see a silhouette in the distance. Is it real? Or a shadow formed by light? Did the reflection in a car window move? Or did you imagine it? The game offers no certainty. It offers ambiguity. And ambiguity is the purest form of fear. At this point, the player understands. This game will not frighten you suddenly. It will unsettle you slowly. And this discomfort will seep into your soul without you noticing. The night continues, and nothing has even begun yet. As the night deepens, time begins to feel strange. The hour advances, yet the air inside the shop seems unchanged. The fluorescent lights still cast the same cold glow. The coffee machine continues its steady rhythm. But something has changed without you noticing. The darkness outside no longer looks like scenery. It feels more like a surface. When you look into it, there is no depth, only a curtain, as if something is hidden behind it. Each time you glance at the door, your mind clings to a small hope. Someone will enter. The door will open, the bell will ring, and everything will return to normal. But the door does not open. As the waiting stretches, tension grows. The human brain is disturbed by uncertainty. It tries to make sense of it, and when it cannot, imagination takes over. The camera-like perspective inside the shop creates the sensation that someone is watching you. This is something felt directly, not shown. You turn around. No one is there, yet you begin to feel you are not alone. Another customer enters. When the door opens, you notice the cold air that accompanies them. This person is different. Their speech is not strange, but their movements are overly cautious. They observe their surroundings carefully. They spend too much time. They seem about to say something, then decide against it. As you prepare the order, you still feel their gaze on you. There is no threat, but there is no peace either. Coffee shops are transit spaces. People come, take something, and leave. They are not designed for lingering. That is why staying too long contradicts the nature of the place, and the mind perceives behavior that contradicts nature as a threat. As the night advances further, the shop's light no longer feels as reassuring. The same light, the same space, the same arrangement, but your perception has changed. Light does not eliminate shadows, it makes them more defined. The darkness beneath the counter appears denser. The empty spaces beneath chairs seem deeper. Reflections in the glass appear to move. Eventually, it is time to go outside again. You take the trash bag and head for the door. When you open it, you detach from the artificial safety of the interior. The air outside feels colder. Sounds echo more broadly. Your footsteps sound unnaturally loud as you walk toward the dumpster. At night, in silence, a person feels their own presence more vividly. This is a primal awareness. In darkness, being visible means being vulnerable. As you lift the lid of the dumpster, you instinctively check behind you. No one is there. Yet you still look. This reflex comes before fear. On the way back, the shop's light appears brighter from a distance, like a refuge. When you step back inside, the space feels safe again, but only for a few seconds, because you now know how dark it is outside, and that knowledge cannot be undone. Inside, everything seems momentarily restored. The machine runs, the light remains steady, the counter looks orderly, but your mind is no longer calm. You begin to think you hear a sound. Then you realize it is only the ordinary vibration of the machine. You think you saw a shadow. Later, you understand it was your own reflection. Yet every false alarm slightly increases your perception of threat. This is the psychology of the night shift. There is no danger, but there is the possibility of danger. The human mind struggles with possibilities. After a while, you look outside again. This time, your eyes adjust longer to the darkness. You begin to distinguish details: parking lines, a reflection in a car window, a distant pole, and then something that seems to move. You narrow your eyes. Nothing is there. But the question remains, is there really something there? The most intense form of fear arises not from certainty, but from possibility. This game is built entirely upon that psychological foundation. It does not shout to frighten you. It waits patiently to unsettle you. It remains unseen to disturb you. As time passes, the feeling of loneliness inside the shop grows. As human voices fade, the space itself begins to feel like a presence. Every sound gains meaning. Every silence becomes not emptiness, but expectation. When a customer enters, the relief you feel is strange. You are no longer alone. Yet not knowing who has entered creates a new tension. The boundary between safety and threat grows increasingly blurred. The night continues. The hour grows late, and you are no longer simply working. You are waiting, waiting for something to happen, without knowing what, without knowing when, but feeling that it will. Under the strain of anticipation, the human mind slowly begins to change. The darkness outside remains the same. The light inside does not change, but you are no longer the same person. Because fear does not always begin when you see something. Sometimes it begins when you realize something could happen, and the night is not over yet.